What the man's role is not in the marriage. Now, we talked about what the man's role is in the marriage. We talked about what a woman's role is in the marriage. And we're building on this foundation of a godly marriage in this short series that I'm doing on marriage. So we'll talk about what the woman's role is not in marriage here in the next devotion. But let's talk about that today. What the man's role is not in the marriage. There is a growing confusion in today's world, inside the church and outside the church, about what it means to be a man, especially in the context of the marriage. The world wants to redefine manhood. It wants to strip manhood of its authority, and it wants to replace biblical leadership with this emotional passivity. But we need to be very clear about something today. God did not design a husband to be weak, to be indecisive, or to be controlled by his wife. Man is not called to surrender headship in his home. He's not called to be a passive bystander while his wife leads the family, makes the spiritual decisions, and dictates the direction of the household. That's not biblical. That is disorder. 1 Corinthians 11:3, it tells us the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the wife is the husband, and the head of Christ is God. There is divine structure in the home. When a man forfeits the leadership, he invites dysfunction into his life, he invites dysfunction into his marriage and his family. So we need to be very clear about something, though, as well. And I've talked about this in what the man's role is in the marriage. If you missed that, go back and watch that one. This is by no means a license for the man to be arrogant. This is not a license for the man to justify pride or tyranny. A godly man listens to his wife. He values her wisdom and he cherishes her counsel. But he does not reverse the roles and follow her leadership. That's not love. That's failure to maintain your responsibilities. That's abdication. When Adam stood silently by while Eve took the fruit in the garden, he failed to lead. And that failure had catastrophic consequences for all of us. A man, he has to be strong in his conviction. Okay, but he needs to be humble in spirit and immovable when it comes to God's truth. He is not driven by emotion. The husband should not be driven by emotion. He should not be ruled by his mood. He's ruled by Christ. And because of that, he leads with clarity, he leads with courage, and he leads with compassion. None of this is weakness. He does not lead with weakness. Marriages flourish when God's design is honored. All right, so a husband who refuses to be pushed around, who stands firm in loving authority, and who leads with the heart of Christ, that brings stability to the home. It brings security to the home, and it brings spiritual blessing to the home. That is not chauvinism. That's obedience to Christ. That is obedience to God's plan and design. So, biblical manhood, it should not be optional. It is not optional. It's commanded by God. And the home, it needs men who are not afraid to lead. All right, so that hopefully gives you a better idea of what the man's role is not in the marriage. So, hope you got value out of that. I love and appreciate you for watching. Thank you, and we'll see you back on the next devotion.